fashion store vestibule because, like the selection of clothes, she exudes an inimitable Parisian effortlessness. There is really no other way of describing this fashion icon, who is also a savvy businesswoman, a wife and a mother of a 2-year-old boy. Laurence wears chic like a glove. Somehow her style is both classic and quirky, feminine and tomboyish, and always dashing. Before our meeting at Labo Spa, I stopped by vestibule to consult the sales team what to wear during the shoot. Without a doubt, they can sense what my style preferences are and see my nervousness about my growing baby bump. The selection and the mix they suggest are almost perfect. I try 3 combinations of outfits and finally settle for a linen white dress and an Isabel Marant sleeveless denim jacket. Now I feel ready to meet Laurence. She arrives at Labo looking relaxed and unperturbed about being filmed. So, what do you think we start discussing first?
I mean, I wear sneakers or high heels depending on the occasion, and I think it's nice to be versatile and to adapt to every situation.
Do you actually wear high heels all over during the whole day?
Yes, I sometimes do, not all the time, because if I have to walk around, then comfort is essential, so I make sure I have comfy and stable high heels.
How many shoes a woman should have in her wardrobe?
You ask me, I love shoes, so I think never enough. Yeah, I think it influences the way you walk, the way you are. And if you're wearing sneakers, your attitude is not the same as when you're wearing super high heels and super sexy shoe. You can wear both during the day or at night, but I think you have to think what you want to show about yourself.
Discussing shoes with Laurence can be a never-ending subject, but when the word comfort enters the scene, I inevitably ask Laurence if she owns a pair of Louboutins.
I have some Louboutin, but maybe not the super extreme ones, because I think then people look at your feet and not at yourself. So I'm like that with all things I'm wearing. So you just have to fit with the look that I'm wearing. So I think it's regardless the label. It's just the style that needs to convince
So it's really
me.
the woman who wears the dress. It's not the dress.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
So what are you wearing today? Very chic as always.
Thank you, thank you. I'm wearing, I'll start with the shoes. I'm wearing shoes from Mother of Pearl, pants from Philippe Lim.
Yeah.
The gilet is from Chloé. A t-shirt from Alexander Wang, which is always a good basic, you can mix with everything.
Do you believe that French women have more sense of style than other women from other nationalities?
I don't think so. I think it's the image of the French women that we have that probably also influences the way we see the French women. Sure, they have a sense of fashion, because I mean Paris especially is the city of fashion, so people are very sensitive to this and are very concerned. I mean, in Zurich is not the same. I think people care about fashion, but not the same way they care in Paris or in a fashion capital.
Should I understand that Paris is your favorite shopping destination?
At the moment, I would say London, because for me, London has like an extreme broad scope of choice. And there are not so many multi-branch shops in Paris or in New York. There are a lot of flagships, and I think London is still a city where you can find a personal choice from a certain buyer, and there is a certain vision of the women.
Laurence Antilio was born and raised in the French part of Switzerland. Her parents were not into fashion and they had a very strict and demure approach to clothes. Laurence studied and graduated as a bachelor in hospitality management and worked for several years at Unilever. Later, following her dream to work in fashion, she continued her education, this time in Paris, at the Institut Français de la Mode. After meeting her future husband and getting married, she moved to Switzerland and Zurich as a training spouse, starting her own fashion store in 2005. The idea was to bring several French labels which were not yet available in Switzerland at that time.
The criteria is actually not the nationality. I try to choose the labels according to the style, if I like their style, if they bring something new, if they're creative in a certain way that really completes the selection that we already have. So it's actually a lot of research that I do, and I travel a lot for that. I also do research like papers, newspapers and blogs and all kind of sources that I can find, and I observe a lot. I kind of how you say, I record everything, and then one day it comes back when I want to do an outfit. But I'm always trying to, when it comes to styling, I'm always trying to find, okay, how can it be? I don't like total looks. I don't like I'm into mixing
and Jacobs.
Yes,
look
yeah.
All, okay.
So I prefer to find a personal way to combine things together. I start. It's pretty selfish, but I trust my taste, and that's my starting point is always whether I like it or not, because I've tried already to put things at the store that I thought would be successful but was not really my favorite piece, and I never sold it. I mean, whether I was in the store or my sales team, but I mean, it didn't work, so I kept on trusting my own judgment. But of course, afterward, I also think about who is the vestibule customer, and what do I think they will want to wear, and when, and it helps me doing a better selection, of course. I'm never buying something that looks crazy, like and it doesn't look comfortable. I mean, I very often I try the clothing myself because I want to see how it feels, and I want to avoid. I mean, I don't buy things just because they look cool. I think they have to feel nice, and I think today there's so many opportunities, so much choice that you cannot compromise on this. That would be, for me, it's like I leave that to some other labels or other stores, but not at Vestibule. So,
yeah. What is your favorite look from the fashion weeks that you saw just now in February?
For next winter?
March? Yeah, for next.
I saw a lot of khaki, khaki green. Yeah, but in a nice way. It's a new way. It's always new. That's good.
Yeah, that's the good thing about fashion. It reinvents the whole thing all the time. That's a good thing, but still.
No, but it's a color that I've seen a lot in different ways, or bronze and a lot of metallics.
What is the most difficult part of your job, and what is the coolest fact about your job? Maybe going to the fashion shows is the coolest part, huh?
Yeah, well, I don't go too much because I lack of time. When I'm in Paris, like my schedule is from 9 to 9. It's like every 2 hours I have an appointment, or let's say like that. So I don't have a lot of time to go to the shows, but when I can, I do enjoy it. And I think it's also important to see who is here, what's the music, what's the atmosphere. I think you understand the collection more, and you can also understand what the designer meant with the collection, and also the message. I have many functions at Vestibule, but the main function I have is the buying, so that's what I prefer. And it's also like the very it's always the hardest part, because it's very intense. In a very little time you have to kind of spend the budget and buy things that are gonna have to last 6 months in 6 months.
Then who is it who has the biggest influence in fashion when it comes to trends? And
I think it's a mix of a lot of things. I don't think there is one person that says this summer is gonna be everything pink. And I think now
we're not talking Anna Winter or
no, but not even she is deciding. She can influence a lot because she knows what she's gonna show in her magazine. But I think she's not the only one who has a voice. I mean, today on the internet you have a lot of bloggers that also have an influence, and can make a brand in a night, can make a brand famous. And buyers as well. I mean, buyers now have a bit more the focus, because people have started to think, but how come these jeans are in that store and not these ones, or how come this look from the collection is there and not there? And so I think all the backstage of the business of fashion has become a point of interest for people. So I think buyers, of course, have an influence.
Laurence and I have chosen Labo Spa for our little rendezvous because we both love the place. It is a favorite beauty and spa retreat where many business women and working moms like to escape to in order to harmonize their body and senses. This is the exact place where it feels more than natural to ask Laurence about her beauty secrets and what makes her keep that radiant smile and positive presence.
No, I have a good husband
Okay.
who is very supportive. I have to say, we work together and we also share the routine, and he's really honestly doing a great part of the job, and I need sometimes moments where I can be for myself.
Yeah. And maybe you have some sort of a diet that keeps you always up and going.
I'm not so good I'm not so disciplined, and sometimes I take good resolutions, but I can do it for some weeks, or I have a clear goal and then I do that. But honestly, I'm not so good at restraining myself. For example, I enjoy I enjoy eating, and so I try not to exaggerate, but sometimes my way to this, and it's okay. And
but you're always in a good shape, so how do you manage this? You spend 2 hours per day in the fitness?
No, maybe I have good genes, but I go to Pilates.
Okay.
As
far as I know, for many years now,
yes,
right?
Yes, it's been something I've done a lot, and I used to swim a lot, so I miss that a little bit. But it takes more time for me, so I don't do that so much now. When I can, I try to have a massage or something that has more to do with beauty or wellness, so that I can really relax.
That's how you relax, yeah.
Yes.
And what is your guilty pleasure?
Chocolate.
Chocolate?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I think, if you worry so much about your weight, it's gonna be like the center of your life, and probably it's not gonna come the way you want, because you too much focus on it. But I don't know. That's what I think. Maybe not for everyone.